So let's look at we're talking about kingdom concepts, and we're going to do some definitions here, give you some basic things that you probably already know or you may not know. But let's look at the definition for kingdom concept. I'm step aside so you can read this with me. Now, what is a business concept? Just the basic secular meaning for a business concept. Let's look at it. Then we're going to look at the kingdom concept. Now, what is it?
An idea for a business.
An idea for a business.
That includes basic information such as service,
Product, the target, demographic, and a unique selling proposition that gives a company an advantage over competitors. A business concept may involve what? A new product or simply a novel approach to marketing or delivering an existing product. Once a concept is developed, it is incorporated into a what? Is incorporated into a what? Business plan. So business concept is incorporated into a what? Business plan. A concept is imported into or incorporated into a business. Just say it again with me one more time. Business plan. You can see why I'm saying this. All right. Now let's look at the world system of concept of business contributor. This is I got 24, but I'm not going to go through them all. But I just want to give you some worldly concepts. Now, you're going to hear this over and over again. A concept is a idea that's conceived in the mind. It's a plan, a thought, an idea that you have received in your conscious, is in your mind. Now, concept begins with a precept. Is that correct? Yes. And what is a precept? Precepts are rules, principles, doctrines, mandates, laws that are set that determine and regulate your thoughts and behavior patterns. You seeing it now? Principle, what do? They regulate your thoughts and the way you act. Is that correct? All right, so that means principles or rules, commands, and doctrine, we call them precepts. They were here before the concepts. They become concepts when I conceive that in my mind. See, when you receive a thought, a rule, a command, a systematic way of doing things in your mind relative to business, that become your concept. Y'all catching it? And then those concepts, what do concepts do? They'll bring about what? Convictions. Since you are convicted of it, that is in your belief system. This is what you believe about business. This is what you believe about the planning of business. This is what you believe about making money in business. You are convicted. This is what you're supposed to do. So those concepts are ideals that were here before we were, right? And so those ideals and those thoughts, we call those what? Ideologies, right? And those ideologies, those thoughts, those plans, where we see things, what I think about all the time, that'll form my what? Philosophy. Philosophy is dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Philosophy is how we think. And the scripture that the way a person think in their heart, that's the way that they live. So my philosophy is going to determine my lifestyle, right? Yep. I said, right. So apparently, when I say factually, everyone in here right now and streaming, some couldn't get here, some out of town, you have a concept in your mind relative to business that is affecting your lifestyle presently. Because you don't want to be a consumer. You don't want to be employed. You want to be deployed. Long as you are employed, you won't be deployed. Y'all catch this? Long as you are employed, that is telling you and telling me that you have not discovered yourself. You see what I'm talking about in a minute. All right, let's look at some of these, just a couple of them. Here are some concepts. So we know a concept is a conceived idea or thought. The importance of mental and physical health, the joy of business, opportunity, recognition, the economics of one unit, the law of supply and demand, vision, mission, strategy, tactics. You see all these? None of these are of the kingdom now. Don't create a competitive advantage, wealth creation, risk and uncertainty, marketing, putting yourself in the customer's shoes, time management, leadership, giving back. All this stuff sounds good, doesn't it? Yeah. So, it sounds good, and but it still is of the world. I'm just giving you some worldly stuff that you can pick up out here you need to be careful of. Let me go down here a little further. Think globally, technology, study economic theory and history, be prepared for failure and success. There's some good stuff in it. But these concepts are not of the kingdom concept. All right. How to write a business plan, the golden rule. There go the golden rule, getting religious now. Now let's look at how we define kingdom concepts. Now, kingdom concepts of business is what? Is defined. The kingdom concepts consist of what? Principles, commands, rules, laws of the what? Kingdom pertaining to what? Wealth. See, business, wealth, these terms can be interchangeable. You're going to see why in a minute. All right. Now, let's look at the word meaning for wealth based on a kingdom concept. The precepts that push this thought out relative to what wealth is. Now, wealth to most people is having a lot of money. I said to most. Is oh man, they wealthy. They got cars and houses. They make a lot of money. Well, I'm wealthy because I got a fat check I get every week. I got a lot of money. That is not wealth. You can have a lot of money and not have wealth. I'm going to say it again. You can have a whole lot of money and not be wealthy. So this is going to help unlock something in some of you even now in terms of identifying the wealth that's in you right now. Here is one form of wealth that we need to acknowledge: your health. Your wealth is in your health. Because if you're sick, you can't even think right or do the things that you need to do to acquire wealth. Y'all catch this? I just want you to get a proper concept of what wealth is. A lot of people wealthy, but they sick. They spend all their money trying to get well. A lot of undermarket, black market stuff is going on, buying organs and things like this is going on right now because wealthy people want to be well. I mean, not wealthy, rich people want to be well. They don't have the health though. So if you got health, that's one area of wealth you need to start valuing. Yes. Y'all getting this? Yes. Okay, now let's look at the original word for wealth. We're talking about kingdom concepts, right? So I'm going to the language, the first language that the kingdom used, or the vehicle that the king used to communicate or articulate his ideals, his precepts, his culture to man in the earth, and that was the Hebrewic language. So in the Hebrew, you get the word for wealth is han. Y'all see that? All right, and it's a what? What's the first definition there? Enough. Somebody say enough. Enough. See, I'm gonna try not to stay here, but some of us have enough and don't appreciate the enough that we have because we got a greedy mentality of wanting more. Yeah. See, wealth is a principle, and that principle will work for you if you allow it to. But if I got an attitude and mentality that enough is having 8 cars and you can't drive one at a time, then I don't have a wealthy attitude. The next definition is riches, substance. Y'all see that word? Now, substance come in the form of ownership of property, land. If you own a vehicle, you own it. That's an asset. You seeing it? If you got land, you own something. But what I really don't get across to you here is that wealth is something that you own that can continue to reproduce, or you can resell it, and it'll continue to be in the position of reselling and reselling and reselling. It's like a seed. It's something that doesn't go away. Property, land don't go away. It's here and it'll always be here. Y'all catch this? All right, so that's one form of wealth that we can put on the substance category, and that is land. Is my battery? Because I ain't hearing nothing. Yep, my battery. He'll get it right quick. I might as well stop talking because they don't hear anything I'm saying now. Okay. Oh, that's the battery, son. Huh? You sure? Oh, yeah. Great. Don't be trying to look so hard. Doc, I'll come over and jack you. Man, I'm old school. You can't look at me like that. I'll be ready to. Oh, that's for y'all. Just put the battery in. Okay, so land, and I'm going to get into this a little later. Land is wealth. Okay, land is wealth. This is why the the system of mammon. You remember Yeshua said you can't serve Yah and mammon too? See, mammon is a system of compound interest, and the world is based on that system. This is why you buy a $100,000 house, and they'll put you on a 30-year mortgage. We take 30 years to pay for it, and when you get through, you've bought 10 houses. As they don't want you to own anything, because the world system don't want you to have wealth. Until that house is paid for, it's not yours. Until that car is paid for, guess what? It's not yours. Stop paying the note. You'll find out. Don't believe me. Just don't pay nothing else. And you can hide it out and do this and take it over mama house and cousin out. That recovery, they gonna find you after a while, and you're gonna find out who that car belongs to. You catching it now? So right now, if you get something that you own, you can say you're wealthy. Okay? All right. Now, I'm going to break this down. Now, you see whereas I have this inheritance that is revealed and established by the kingdom. Y'all see that right there? Now, that definition comes from each of these letter word meaning in the Hebrew. Now, you see it's spelled. Do I have spelling up there? Yeah. Het, Vav, Nun. Nun is very powerful. In the ancient African Hebrew hieroglyphic, the Nun is a picture of a seed. And seed denotes what? Inheritance and eternal. It don't go nowhere. It's going to be around. It's going to produce. When you dead and gone, it's still going to do what it's supposed to do. Right. You seeing it? And then evolve means to be established. And then that het, one of the meanings for het is to separate for the purpose of ownership. You seeing it now? So that's why we're saying wealth is something, is a seed producing substance that you are connected to, that you own. It's yours. It's separated because you own it, and it's going to what? Continue to do what? Produce. And that's why I say land and property is the number one thing for wealth. And this is why the system don't want you to have nothing that you own. This is why so much property went up in the air, because parents or our foreparents didn't understand a living trust or something like this, and the kids couldn't get along, and it's what you call air property to now, and eventually somebody go buy it and take it. See that 40 acres and a mule that were promised to the African American? It was promised, then the next president came in and got rid of it. They don't want you to have no wealth. Okay? All right, so we understand what wealth is. Let's look at Psalms. We got this up at 112 and 13. We're looking at the concept, a kingdom. What thought do I need to have crystallized in my mind? What do I need to allow to control me, the way I think and the way I live? This is a concept of the kingdom relative to business. Business is tied to wealth. So the scripture says, praise Yahweh, Adonai the Lord. Blessed are those who fear Yahweh, who find great delight in his what? Commands. You see that? Now wealth, you remember precepts? One of the definition of precept is a command. And the command is there to do what? Regulate my thoughts and behavior. My pattern, the way I think, what I do. Those who delight in his command or his precepts, their children will be what? Mighty in the land. The generation of the upright will be what? Blessed. Here we go. Wealth and what else? Riches are in their what? Houses, and their righteousness endureth forever. You see this right here? Now you see the word generation and children? See, when you got something you can pass to your children, then you got wealth. If it can't be passed, it's not wealth. Them Jordan shoes, they going out of style. You can't pass them to your children and get anything for them. So why focus on that? Why have 8 closets full of clothes? When you leave, they out of style. They're going to give them to the Salvation Army. So why invest your money into clothes and stuff that cannot reproduce value to someone else other than yourself? Y'all catching that? All right, let's keep going here. Here are 3 kingdom keys of leadership that business owners must know. 3 what?
Kingdom keys.
of leadership that business owners must know. And what are they? Purpose, vision. Reason I got it like that, because vision, did I change it?
No.
I'm there now? Go back? All right. You know, what is vision? Vision is the revelation of what? Purpose. What is purpose? That's why you're here and who you are. Okay? So what we're going to do tonight is help you get a proper concept. I'm going to say it now. Business, when you discover your business, you actually discover your purpose. When you discover your purpose, you discover yourself. Until you discover who you are, you won't know your purpose. Until you know your purpose, you won't know what business you are to engage in. I get the question asked all the time, what business should I go in? When you discover yourself, you'll know what you're supposed to do. If you don't know who you are, whatever you're doing, you're wasting time. You got to discover who you are. And the next one is what? Potential. What is potential? Ability. Your purpose carry a design. You seeing it? Because of your purpose, you have been designed with the ability to accomplish your purpose. It's the way you're made up. And then you got principle, and principle are what? Values. Whatever you value, you won't violate. Okay, I don't want to spend too much time there, because this is what I want to get to. Point number one, business concepts. What is the kingdom business principle? What is kingdom business principle? What are the concepts? What I need to get a hold to understand what is the kingdom concept? We gave you some definitions, right? So here it is. Number one is the biggest one, and I'll put it on the list of priorities in terms of us discovering this. And is serving your gift is the what? Business concept of possessing ownership. Serving your what?
Your gift.
That's it. Serving your what?
Gift.
Now, what is your gift? Your gift is the inherent ability that you have in you right now that someone else need, that you can meet the need of someone or something to make their life better. Talking about kingdom concepts. Because there are businesses out here that'll make your life hellish. That's not a kingdom concept. There are businesses out here that's designed to take from you the spirit of mammon. Compound interest come from that word mammon, which was a so-called god that the Assyrians made up and worshiped, because they said this particular god gave them the idea of compound interest. The system of Babylon is based on that compound interest. Y'all catching it? So that business of giving you a credit card, they say they want you to have good credit, but they really don't. They give you a credit card and you miss one payment, and what happened? They jack the interest up, don't they? Charge you a penalty and jack your interest up and report you to the credit bureau. That is not a business that's designed to make somebody's life happy or enjoyable. That's to make your life hellish. That is not a kingdom business. You see the difference? All right. Now, so let's look at Matthew. Y'all, we're going to look at Lucas also. Now, let's read this. You can write it down, do what you need to do. Discovery of your gift. You're going to have to take notes tonight. I'm not posting these. Discovery of your gift is the what? Key to what?
Knowing your business.
Discovery of your gift is the what? Discovery of your gift is the key to knowing your business. When you discover you discover your gift. When you discover your gift, you know your business. And can't nobody get you off of it. You will not be denied. You will invest. You will fight. You will go through everything you need to go through, because you know this is on the inside of you and you value what's there. You see it? You see, education really can be your worst enemy. I always say can, because I got the greedy people in here everywhere. I just I must tell you the truth. Education can be your worst enemy. The system of education in the United States is designed to educate you to be a better worker, to be a better employee, to be a better educated, let me put it this way, consumer. That's the whole system was designed to educate people so they could know how to run those machines, read the manuals, you know, be able to operate, communicate, things like that. And then they said, well, when you get out of high school, go to college because we're going to need you to know how to do all the administrative work. And you do the work in here and they do the work out there. But you making me the money though. Listen, there are more people without degrees that have more wealth than people who have degrees. There are more people with degrees who are broke or working for somebody else. Even college professors, they work for somebody else. When you get through on your $200,000 a year salary, if you don't do what they tell you to do, you're going to be broke. And it's good for some people to get fired because when they get fired, they are pushed into self-discovery. They have to go do something different then. Your job is the way it is. You're not comfortable on that job because you supposed to be deployed, but you're yet employed. That's why they don't like you. Even your coworkers don't like you. They know you don't supposed to be there. The environment is uncomfortable. So discovering your gift is the key to knowing your business. Stay connected to your what? Stay connected to your what? And your gift will do what? It'll reveal itself. And we're going, man, we'll get here. Your gift will reveal. Now, Proverbs or Mishlea 18 and 16. Let's look at it. 18 and 16. We got it up here because I want to give you the definition of this word. Well, that's Matthew, right? Let's read this. We're going back there. It says, a gift opens the way and ushers the giver into the presence of the great. Now, the New King James Version say a man's or woman's gift make room before him and bring him before the king. Does it? Now, what make room for you? Your charisma, your fraternity, your sorority, your who you know. I'm talking about kingdom now because we think we can get in certain groups and we got the hookup. That's not a kingdom concept because that is not what's in you. That's in the organization. Organizations fade away. Your gift will always be alive as long as you are. Okay. Now let's go back to these particular verses here, Matthew 28 and 20 and 28. Just as the Son of Man did not come to do what? Be served. This is huge. Now, we know that our gift is the inherent ability that is in us to perform services or render service to meet something or someone else's need, right? Now, look at this. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to do what? To serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. Yeshua brought his life. His life was that was his purpose, to come and give his life. You seeing it? Yes. That's the only reason he came, to give his life in exchange to buy ours back and restore us to our kingdom. So he said, I didn't come for you to serve me your gifts. I came to serve you my gift. Okay? That's the key principle, foundation in terms of understanding the kingdom concept of us serving our gift. So actually, every born again believer have the capacity to be an entrepreneur and a business owner, to be deployed versus employed, to be the provider instead of being the consumer, to be the hunter instead of being the prey, if we understand this concept here. That's why Yeshua said the poor you have with you always. The word poor is talking about those who think that they don't need to advance. Another word when we talk about the poor, blessed are the poor for they shall inherit the kingdom. That word poor means blessed are those who understand that they need to be taught and are willing to be taught. They're going to inherit the kingdom. You seeing it? Y'all catching this? All right. And then Lucas called Luke 19 and 13. He said, so he called 10 of his servants and gave them what? He gave them gifts. He gave them something to work with. Now, most African Americans that's in America right now, We came here stripped of everything, of family, of inheritance, names, wealth, riches, just stripped dignity, pride, honor, stripped buck naked down to the bone. So most of us started off with nothing given to us by man. But you know what? Good. That'll help us look at the gift that have been given to us by our Creator. Notice I said we started with nothing given to us by man. All of us have a gift in us that was given to us by our Creator. And that gift is what you need to discover. And once you discover that gift and serve that gift will begin to make room for you. Y'all catching this?
Yes.
Okay, this is why we had up here, stay connected to your gift. And your gift will do what? Reveal. Check it out. If you stay connected to your gift will reveal itself. We're going to get into this with Daniel and Joseph later. See, when you are faithful to what you discover, that gift will begin to teach you how to do other things. See, your business, from a kingdom concept, your business is trapped inside of you and your gift. I don't care what you're doing, what you're going to school for, what you're training for. If it's not related and connected to your gift, you're wasting time. Your gift is still lying dormant. Once you discover that gift is going to make room. Yeah, they promised 40 acres in the mule. I didn't get it. That's how we say, that's all right. That's all right. Holy Spirit gave me a gift. You can't take that from me. You can take everything else, but you can't take my gift. And once you discover that gift, you will know that you will always make it. There will be no fear of failure, no fear of being broke, no fear of not having money. You will never be fearful of anything because you know who you are and you know what you got to offer. You'll never devalue yourself. You'll never be depressed and oppressed as a result of lack of money and cars. Everybody else got the big thing and they doing that. Won't you be sitting there smiling? Yeah, I'm Uber now, but I'm happier than you are because you know your gift have to. Somebody say have to. Make room for you, not before anybody. See, kings have riches. Kings have authority. Kings can open doors for you. You'll catch it? So operating this principle guarantee you and me that we will always be connected to the right person who have the right stuff for me. And you don't have to compromise to get it. I see my time there. Now, Proverbs 18. So I'm just going to give this to you using Hebrew keys of revelation. That word gift means special, spiritual, inherited gift. When you say your gift will make room for you, special, you see the word het, and it's a noon. You see it right here? Where is it? That's a het, not as a het. Excuse me. What is that? Matam. That's a mem and a tav. So mem is spiritual, right? It's a spiritual gift. And the tav mean that it's special because you got a special stamp identifying you being in covenant with the kingdom to operate this spiritual gift you have that's going to bring life in your life and other lives. Catch that. Everybody's gift in business is designed to make somebody else's life better. Total different concepts from the kingdom, ain't it? So when you fix somebody's hair and they walk out of there smiling, you just made their life better. You see that? When you decorate some room and they come in, oh, wow, this is wonderful. You just made somebody's life better. And you have a covenant with the Father. See, that tav means a covenant, but each covenant partner have a mark. Even in covenants on the earth, they will mark themselves. You see some Africans here with these cuts on their face and stuff like that, because they cut covenants and they mark them to identify that they're part of that covenant. You've been marked. You've been marked by your gift. I'm about to get excited. All right. Now, this is where we're going to go in a minute. We're going to stop. All right, we're going to go and look at serving your gift. Again, is under this topic. Serving your gift is what? The business concept of possessing ownership.